Coming up on this week's edition of NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen.
It's onward to Orlando for CattleCon 24. We'll preview some of the great experiences the annual convention has to offer for cattle producers and their families.
And now, NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen.
Hello and welcome to a special edition of NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen. I'm Kevin Auctioner. Today, we're giving you a preview of CattleCon 2024 that'll take place in Orlando, Florida. Now, this is the oldest and largest national convention for the cattle business, and thousands of cattlemen and women will be on hand for several days of business, education, fellowship, and fun. Let's hear from the president of NCBA, who has a message for producers attending CattleCon.
Hey, I'm Todd Wilkinson. I'm the president of the National Cattlemen's Beef Association. I'm excited to welcome you to Orlando. What an awesome opportunity for you to see the nuts and bolts of America's oldest and biggest beef organization. You know, I can remember years ago when I attended my first convention. You're overwhelmed because there's so much to do and so much action going on. But get involved. Take in those meetings. Look at what's going on out there, and enjoy the party, because this is America's organization to make things happen. You as a producer are key to making things continue to evolve for the next generation. And I encourage you, enjoy yourself, but also participate, because I'm proud to be an NCBA member. You should be proud to be an NCBA member. Let's go out there and knock the socks off Orlando. Let's make a difference in the cattle industry, because this organization and you as a participant are going to have a blast, but let's make reality come true when we go out there and protect the cattle industry.
No one is more excited for the upcoming convention than the Florida cattlemen and women who will play host in Orlando. Cattlemen to Cattlemen reporter Brian Baxter has more on what you can expect during this visit to the Sunshine State.
When most people think of Florida, they think of alligators, palm trees, and ocean beaches.
People that come and visit our state, it's a tourist destination. Certainly we're famous for our beaches and our saltwater fun, our freshwater lakes, but in the interior of the state, there's pretty extensive ranching operations. We're primarily a cow-calf state. Most people don't realize to the extent that we have 1.6 million head of beef cattle in the state, and we've had cattle. We had the first cattle on the North American continent over 500 years. The first cattle came to Florida in 1521.
People say, gosh, they're so surprised that we have cattle here. But then I always love to share, we've had cattle here for 502 years. When cattle first came to what is now North America, they came here. They came to Florida. And so we have that rich heritage that we're really proud of and really excited to showcase and share with our friends when they come in from all parts of the country.
Cattle ranching across generations is common in Florida, and the roots run deep in places like Okeechobee.
Okeechobee is a very important part of our ag community, a very important part of our state, and Okeechobee forever has been known as a cow town. And Okeechobee, some of the leaders down there made the decision that, let's showcase that. So they commissioned an artist to put together a bronze sculpture grouping of sculptures in a public park right there on the mall, if you will, in downtown Okeechobee, to showcase that heritage, that long, rich history of it being a cow town and a key part of the cattle industry. And many of our fine families, ranching families, stepped up and raised the money to get that done, and it's there for everybody to enjoy and to learn that rich history.
Besides a long tradition in raising cattle, Florida also has strong cattle industry organizations working on behalf of producers. The Florida Beef Council promotes beef to consumers, and the Florida Cattlemen's Association advocates for the industry.
We have a membership of about 4,400 people, families that are ranchers here in the state of Florida. We've been in existence a pretty long time. We were established in in 1934. Our headquarters are located in Kissimmee, Florida. And we believe that we represent about 96% of the cow herd here in the state.
Well, our beef checkoff, of course, is hugely important here. That's what allows us to connect with all of the residents, to all of the tourists, all of the areas that we reach, whether it's registered dietitians or physicians or any of those folks. Some of the notable programs we've been able to do here in Florida was the execution of the NASCAR Xfinity Series Beef It's What's for Dinner 300. Of course, that ran in 2021, 2022, and 2023. And we were able to take this event that happens here in our state, but is visited by race fans from across the country and even beyond our borders, and promote beef to those loyal race fans. So that's been really fun for us to be involved in and really try to make an impact in the industry.
Besides promoting beef and caring for their cattle each day, Florida producers will soon host the biggest event in the U.S. beef cattle industry, CattleCon 24 in Orlando.
Orlando is in the business of hosting people, and it's an easy place to get to, and there's a lot of things to do for families to do in addition to the business of our industry at the National Convention.
We are so excited to have CattleCon 2024 in Orlando. It's been a lot of years since it's been here, and we, of course, welcoming our cattle family from across the country is a big honor for us.
The cattle industry is a big family, and I have friends from here to California to Washington State, and we all share a lot of the same beliefs and a lot of the same things that drive our lives, and we just welcome open our gates and look forward to everyone coming. We believe they'll have a grand time and hope that everybody will come and bring their families and enjoy our great state.
Each year, more than 7,000 people attend the convention, which offers cattle producers from every state outstanding opportunities in areas such as education.
The Cattlemen's College, they always have the leaders in their field in the educational programs, and it's a chance to sit and learn with other producers, and it's a wonderful opportunity to advance your knowledge base and to learn new ideas and take those home and incorporate them in help with the profitability of your operations.
CattleCon also features the NCBA trade show, stretching across many acres.
The NCBA trade show is a highlight. It is overwhelming. You can't get through it all. If you need something and you wanted to learn something and you're trying to establish a relationship with a potential supplier or work on something that you know you're going to expand your operation, you can find the answer there.
With the trade show, education, networking, and an opportunity to influence cattle industry policy now and in the future, CattleCon 24 in Orlando might be one of the best investments a cattle producer can make in their operation.
It's certainly more than a vacation. You can incorporate bringing your family and have a lot of fun at the National Cattlemen's Beef Association Convention, but it is an important part. It's an investment in your future. You can take something home every year, and many times a lot of things that you can incorporate in your operation to make you a better, stronger operation for future generations.
And I would just offer that for all of our folks, when they're packing their bags, when you're shining up your boots, and bring a pair of flip-flops too, because that's our other favorite form of footwear down here.
Getting ready for CattleCon 24 in Orlando, Florida. I'm Brian Baxter reporting for NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen.
If you'd like to join me and a few thousand other cattle folks in Orlando for a once-in-a-lifetime experience, all you have to do is register for CattleCon and you're in. It runs from January 31st through February 2nd. You can register and get your housing all set at the website convention.ncba.org. Still to come on Cattlemen to Cattlemen, we've got an inside look at the special location for the Thursday night party. Plus, details on what first-time attendees can expect at this year's CattleCon. Stay with us.
Cattle producers across the country work hard to care for their animals and their land. The USDA's Natural Resources Conservation Service is there to help. Find out how you can work with NRCS to develop a conservation plan for your operation. Find possible funding resources for implementing conservation practices, or get free expert advice on ways to improve your farm or ranch. Visit the website nrcs.usda.gov today.
CattleCon 24 is marching onward to Orlando, January 31st to February 2nd, 2024. Have your say in the future of the industry, network with fellow producers, or connect with friendly faces. Plus, the NCBA trade show will be on site with over 385,000 square feet of the latest and greatest in the cattle business to help your operation stay competitive and sustainable. Learn more at convention.ncba.org.
Welcome back. Today, we're focusing on the plans for CattleCon 24 in Orlando. And joining us now with more on the convention is Uriah Casada. He's NCBA's Associate Director for Sponsorship and Events. Folks may not fully understand, Uriah, just how important this meeting is to the beef industry. Tell us about some of the business that goes on at the convention.
Well, CattleCon is where our leadership gets together with our committee members, and they really meet to go over how to affect positive change for the industry. And we want our attendees to know that they are more than welcome to attend those events and meetings and, let their voice be heard, because it is like the one-stop shop for really getting to know what is going on within our industry at that time.
And speaking of one-stop shops, that's what I consider the trade show to be. I mean, you can see everything at the annual trade show. Tell us about how this year's trade show is shaping up.
Oh, we have an amazing selection of exhibitors and sponsors that are just eager to meet our attendees, and we have anything and everything there available that you could imagine, from farm equipment to a new pair of boots. So it's going to be really exciting for folks.
There's a lot of business that gets done at convention, but you do a wonderful job pulling in some great entertainers as well. Can you give us a little overview of what you've got in store for us?
Well, I can't give too much. Want to have something to entice people to go to, but I can say that it is shaping up to be so eventful and so fun, and we have music performers coming in, and one in particular, the Bellamy Brothers, will be joining us on Friday night, so that's going to be really fun.
Now, you normally plan special events for first-time convention goers as well. What do you have in store?
Well, at CattleCon, we want, our attendees to feel like it's one big community, one big family, and it could be overwhelming for somebody's first time.
Indeed.
And we want to make sure that they feel welcomed, and we have a special first-timer meetup that happens in conjunction of the trade show welcome reception. And it's just a fun time where our first-timers can go meet NCBA leadership, their regional director, ask their questions, and allow us to buy them their first drink there as well.
I know that it can be difficult for some beef industry participants to get away for the entire convention, but you do have multiple different types of registration available. Maybe overview some of those options.
We do. We have a registration type for any attendee's experience. We have full registrations. There's one-day registrations, trade show only. But for our attendees who are concerned about the registration fee, I would really encourage them to take advantage of our payment plan. A lot of our attendees don't know that they could purchase all that what they would like to purchase and not have to bear the blow at the first checkout immediately. It can be split into easy payments for them.
That's fantastic news. I have to ask you one last question, and that is from you personally, what's your favorite thing about convention?
Mine, I also help in registration a lot. So that first impression, I just so enjoy seeing our members and attendees and being that first smile greeting them to convention.
And you always do a great job. Thanks for coming to the show, and thanks for the highlights.
Thanks for having me.
Now, it doesn't matter if you're a first-timer or a long-time convention attendee. We want to see you in Orlando. We had a chance to ask some of NCBA producer leaders what they remember from their first convention. Here's what they had to say.
My best memories and favorite memory was the first time I went to an NCBA convention in Charlotte, North Carolina. I walked in to the top of the stairs, and I looked down. I see at that time probably 7 or 8 acres of just the biggest trade show, the beef trade show. If you're a beef fan or a cattleman, that you could ever imagine. You never see that anywhere.
And I remember the first time I brought my son to convention in Tampa, Florida, and I'll never forget the look on his face when he walked into that convention and saw all the things that were happening, all the people he could meet, and all the networking he could do. And I realized what I must have looked like the first time I walked in.
I will tell you, when I look back on my very first convention, I think my biggest memory was walking into some of these meetings and being intimidated. You know, looking around and seeing everybody that was here and thinking, gosh, they know so much more than me. They have some, they're running a whole lot more cattle than I am. But here's what I want to tell each and every one of you. Whether you got 5 or 500 head at home, you belong here, and you need to understand that. And so what I would encourage you to do more than anything is to get involved, because everybody here is wanting you to be involved and be part of our industry and part of the solutions that we need to craft for the future in our industry.
First memory of CattleCon, when I went the first time, I was the country boy that went to the big city. I was staring at the trade show, looking around with my head in the air and just, looking around, taking it all in. And I met a lot of good people, and every time I go, I just meet more and more people.
I remember the first time I got there, I was totally amazed on how much work gets done from the grassroots. The grassroots people, you guys that pay the check off, all of us that pay the check off, we get to get hammered down into what we think is going to actually be the benefit to our industry. So with that, also there's a lot of nightlife. The first time I went there, you could do a lot of different things in the evenings, whether it be a concert or maybe even go out into town and have a super meal in town. So it's a good time. I'll see you there.
There will be some can't-miss speakers and entertainment as part of CattleCon, and your registration includes admission to all those great events. Here's a look at the special location for the Thursday night party.
An unforgettable night awaits you at Orlando's hottest destination for music and entertainment. Mango's Tropical Cafe evokes the fun of 1930s New York and the flair of the Tropicana in Havana, Cuba.
We started in South Beach about 30 years ago and migrated up to Orlando. We are a complete Florida style immersion venue. So we're a nightclub later at night, but earlier in the evening we do a wonderful dinner and show, and of course we have tremendous corporate parties. So when our guests join us, you are completely immersed in the Florida style. It kind of is like a throwback to the old Tropicana nightclub. So think Lucy and Desi and Floor Show, and just that great fun feeling of being out with friends and enjoying the evening.
Each night, Mango's offers an exciting, family-friendly experience with amazing tropical cuisine and a variety of musical acts. Mango's is excited to welcome members of the beef industry to their one-of-a-kind venue.
We are a fun family venue early in the evening. We're looking forward to having you all here. We do a tremendous churrasco steak. So beef is something that we really enjoy preparing and serving to our guests, and are incredibly excited to host all of you and welcome you in true Florida style.
It's fun and fantastic non-stop entertainment. Your night at Mango's will have you singing and dancing long after dinner ends.
Come with a relaxed state of mind, enjoy a great cocktail, something wonderful to eat, the great company, and remember to bring your cell phone so that you can take videos, so you'll have the memories to take back with you.
Reporting from Orlando, I'm Brad Bullough for NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen.
Sounds like that's going to be a lot of fun for convention attendees. In addition to the Thursday night party at Mango's Tropical Cafe, Friday night is the exclusive Cowboys and Coasters event at Universal Studios. Both events are included with your registration. Now you can get all the details at the website convention.ncba.org. Still ahead on Cattlemen to Cattlemen, we'll show you where to go for a great steak while you're at convention. Plus, a look at a fun place you may want to visit in Orlando. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
By installing Ritchie waterers, you save water while keeping it fresh and always available to your animals. You protect the land by keeping natural water clean and soil healthy. And you conserve power because they're energy efficient. We're committed to helping you create a prosperous, sustainable, and regenerative future. Because we know, like you know, that every saved drop matters. Ritchie, fresh water for life.
Join the National Cattlemen's Beef Association. There are big benefits to being a member. You'll get industry news in the National Cattlemen, email updates in the NCBA Beef Bulletin, plus discounts just for NCBA members. Join by calling 866-233-3872 or online at ncba.org.
Welcome back. The annual NCBA trade show has something for everyone in the beef industry, and all under one roof. Hundreds of companies exhibit each year with products and services aimed at helping beef producers be more profitable. We asked some of NCBA's producer leaders to share their thoughts on the trade show.
If you're taking in the trade show for the first time or the 15th time, where can you go and see this much production material for the ag industry and specifically for the beef industry? We have products and acres of products out there that are waiting for you to discover them. I remember going into the trade show years ago on one of my first NCBA conventions and being overwhelmed by the material here. It's all waiting for you. Just go out and explore.
Is absolutely outstanding. It's got all kinds of things. It's got machinery, it's got technology, it's got working livestock demonstrations. If you miss this, you've really missed out. You need to come, you need to enjoy it. It's a great place to be.
The trade show is very large. It takes a long time to get through it. There's lots to see, lots of people, lots of exhibitors, and it'd be one of the top things about going to convention because the newest technology is there, and you get to see what's available either to buy, to rent, to use, and so that's I'd say it's one of the most valuable things, especially for somebody that's their first time going.
With our trade show, we have acres and acres of all the vendors in the cattle industry. Anybody you could imagine seeing, whether it's from heavy implements, tractors, feed boxes, we have computer software, anything that you would want or need for your particular operation, you can find in the trade show. There's also some good food and beverages to participate in. Just go out, go talk to the vendors, and enjoy yourself at the trade show, and make sure that you go from start to finish in there.
Speaking of the trade show, we had a chance to ask some of the exhibitors why they come back year after year.
NCBA is just one of our favorites. We get a different audience here. You know, we see the ranchers and the cattlemen coming with their hats and their nice jackets and boots, and it's just a really different feel for us. It is our, quality customer that we know they're going to come in and they know our brand, or they're looking to upgrade or to change and just experience John Deere. So we just feel that we always get, the best audience here, and it is just a really fun show. And we just always enjoy coming and meeting with those producers and that audience in our industry.
The greatest thing about the NCBA trade show is to connect with not only our current customers, but potential customers and prospects. What's nice about this conference is you can come just for the day and come to the trade show and see what is all available in the industry.
I think what's so great about CattleCon NCBA trade show is there's something for literally everyone. If you're a small producer, you're a large producer, you have a certain breed of cattle, even if you have a dairy beef cross, I think there's something for everybody. And if you're not even sure what you're looking for, just walk through the trade show and somebody will have something that catches your eye and spark an idea, and you get to talking, and it opens up a lot of doors that you probably never even thought you could have or even imagine.
Now, one thing's for certain, After you've walked that big trade show floor, you'll have worked up a big appetite. Brian Baxter has a look at one outstanding steakhouse near the convention center that's certainly worth a visit.
Convention visitors in Orlando that are looking for an award-winning steak know Charlie's is the place to visit. It's named for Charlie Woodsby, co-founder of Red Lobster, who brought his seafood dining experience to the world of steakhouses.
They're just an amazing family to work for. You know, they told us a long time ago, and it still hasn't changed over the last 50 years. We begin every day thinking about hospitality, not about, you know, who's going to work here, who's going to work there. It's all about hospitality and, you know, really engaging our guests.
While the appetizers, sides, and desserts are all great at Charlie's, of course, the steaks are the main attraction. Any gourmet of great beef will be amazed by the many cuts Charlie's has to offer.
Our wet-aged steaks are aged a minimum of 28 days. Our bone-in steaks we allow to go up to 30 to 42 days before we start cutting them. So sometimes we get in meat and we actually hold it, so we allow it to finish aging in our restaurant if it's not aged before we get it.
We still look at every piece of meat very carefully. And something that we do here that is probably, different than a lot of chain restaurants is we still cut our meat in-house. It's done by our managers, so we have bandsaws in our restaurant. We cut short loins, export ribeyes in-house every day. And then we have a proprietary seasoning. This seasoning is made by the Woodsby family still. So they make it in their garage. It's top secret. And it's something that I think really makes our steaks really a true Charlie's or Talk of the Town experience.
Today we walked into the meat room and we were looking at some of the trays that were cut today, and the prime New York strips today just look amazing. They grade prime, they can't be graded any higher, but they're definitely grading what looks like an 8-9 American Wagyu score. So that really gets me excited because I know that steak, when it's cooked over this open fire with our proprietary seasoning, it's just going to be amazing. It's memorable. It creates memories for people, and at some point later in life, they're like, man, I remember that steak I ate at Charlie's. They can't forget it.
Those steaks are then flame grilled over a unique 1200-degree Florida citrus and oak wood burning pit.
We cook over a citrus and oak fire here. We have these specially designed pits that were designed by our founder, still in use to today. This one was recently redesigned, so better than ever right now. We get in wood. Most restaurants get it in 3 times a week. This restaurant gets it in about 5 days a week because of the volume. It's always a show up here. We put on a good show at night with the flame and the steaks, and when the pit's full, people walk by and they want to talk to us. They want to walk around and take pictures and flip steaks. It's amazing. It's truly what sets us apart from everyone else.
When you walk in the front door and see the meat case, it might be hard to decide what to get. At Charlie's, they're used to customers struggling with their steak order.
As a chef, we get to stand up here and watch how many people take pictures of that meat display every night, and they talk about it, and they kind of go back and forth on what they're going to get. They walk up here and they ask us, what should I have? I'm looking at the meat display. But what's really important about it, above all, is they get to see the meat in its natural state in the raw, because when it comes to the table, you don't get to see it anymore. It's been cooked. It's got a certain amount of char on it. It's got mignard on it. It's just been browned. So you don't get to see it. You get to taste it, but in this environment over there in front of the meat display case, you actually get to see it before it's seasoned, before it's grilled, before it comes to the table.
This is our actual meat that we serve every single day. We're proud of it, so we put it out there for everyone to see, and people get excited. They walk in, they say, I'd like to get that steak, and we can guarantee that the steak that's going to be served to you is going to be exactly like that.
The folks at Charlie's know those impressive steaks wouldn't be possible without the hard work of cattlemen and women across the U.S.
I appreciate all their hard work that they do on a day in and day out basis. There's a lot to take into account, from getting water to their animals, to taking care of their fields, to taking care of them in a non-stress environment. A lot of that goes unseen, and even like in the state of Florida, we produce a lot of calves, and those guys, those cattle ranchers that take care of those little calves are amazing in what they do, and I really appreciate them, because without them we wouldn't have Midwestern grain-fed cattle. A lot of them come from here, and I'm proud to, support the beef industry for sure.
We're just very appreciative because obviously without them, we wouldn't be in business. The quality, the commitment to quality, the commitment to care for these animals, it's really unbelievable. And we love the product and we're very appreciative of the end result.
So if you want to visit a place that's regularly voted one of America's top 10 steakhouses, stop in at Charlie's for an unbelievable dining experience.
Please, when you're in town, come see us at Charlie's Steakhouse. We'll handpick your steak for you. We'll make sure that all of your passion and hard work that went into raising that cattle is delivered to you at the table to perfection, just the way you want it.
We're excited to have you, and I will offer you this. We will have a seat for you at our restaurants no matter what. No matter how busy it gets, you call the restaurant, you let them know that you're with the Cattlemen's Convention, and you're guaranteed a table in our restaurant. So thank you all for all your hard work. Come, you can relax now and let us do the hard work.
And that's an offer that will be tough to refuse. In Orlando, I'm Brian Baxter reporting for NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen.
Still to come on Cattlemen to Cattlemen, we'll highlight some of the educational opportunities you won't want to miss at CattleCon. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Handle feed, waste, and other materials on your operation with John Deere equipment. Weigh feed on the go with dynamic weighing. And move materials faster without spilling with the Level to Horizon feature on 6R tractors. Move and stack bales easily and clean up brush and debris with improved grapple work on 5 Series tractors. Get into tight spaces with skid steers and wheel loaders. And check calves, fences, and more with John Deere Gators. Ask your John Deere dealer to learn more.
Join the National Cattlemen's Beef Association. There are big benefits to being a member. You'll get industry news in the National Cattlemen, email updates in the NCBA Beef Bulletin, plus discounts just for NCBA members. Join by calling 866-233-3872 or online at ncba.org.
Welcome back. There are many great things to see and do at CattleCon, but Cattlemen's College always draws a crowd. In addition, there are also valuable cattle handling demonstrations. And joining us now to discuss these efforts is stockmanship expert Dean Fish. Dean, why is producer education so important at events like CattleCon?
Producer education is a key component of CattleCon, and I think there's a tremendous amount of opportunities to fit anybody, anytime during the convention. You've got the Cattlemen's College, you've got the learning lounges, we've got the demo arena, we've got the Shoots and Scales Showdown. You can talk to vendors. Tremendous amount of information that's available out there that producers can take back, figure out whether that fits their operations or not, and how those will impact their profitability and sustainability.
So what's the value of having cattle handling demonstrations at convention?
So cattle handling, turns out, is one of the most popular things that we do at the cattle convention. And that's just a way for us to show kind of local and regional stockmanship and stewardship practices. And then we have Mr. Kurt Pate and Dr. Ron Gill come in, two of the I consider the godfathers of stockmanship and stewardship and cattle handling, coming in 4 times a day and talking and showing and demonstrating how to properly move and handle cattle and do that in a low-stress manner. Tremendous value to our convention participants.
You work with a great group of people for those demonstrations. Tell us a little bit about your team.
So the stockmanship and stewardship demonstrations in the demo arena on the trade show floor are put together by our good friends at NCBA for our producers. So we have Mr. Kurt Pate and Dr. Ron Gill, who are both world-renowned clinicians, teaching those sessions. In addition to that, they can go over and check out the Shoots and Scales, but that stockmanship and stewardship demos are not only taking relevant current practices, but actually showing and demonstrating those for our participants.
So what are a few of the tips you always try to share with producers when you get a chance to present at CattleCon?
So some of the tips that I think are really, really important when we're talking about effective cattle handling are, number one, being quiet. Understanding that, we're a predator and we're adding pressure to maybe an already stressful situation. So that being said, being quiet and being thoughtful in how we approach and move around cattle is really important. The other thing that I think is understanding pressures. So how do we apply that pressure? Know when we're applying that pressure, how much of that pressure we're applying, and then when to release it. So being able to kind of just study and read and pay attention to that pressure and release is really, really important. Those two things I think are really, really important to be a good cattle handler.
There's no doubt that good cattle handling can make a rancher's life easier, but are there also benefits that reach all the way to the consumer?
So obviously good cattle handling pays off at the ranch there. You know, it's safer for our producers, it's safer for those animals, we have less injuries, and those animals can stay content. I think that translates all the way down to when that animal turns up on a plate. And I think that we set that animal up for success, like we do with our good vaccines. We set that animal up for success with the way that we handle them, by being able to implement ways in which they can handle stress, and then us not putting additional stress on them as they go through that process. Anyway, those benefits translate all the way down, and in turn benefit those producers and everyone that owns those cattle along that route, because they're economically beneficial. If that cow is thinking about eating and doing her job or his job, they're not getting stressed and losing weight, they're gaining weight.
So I'm curious, what kind of reaction do you get from people about these live cattle demonstrations?
So people love the live cattle demonstrations, and we'll have 4 sessions a day during CattleCon, and people will come back to all 4. Just because they'll pick something up new every time. And so, you know, regardless of whether you work on foot, whether you use side-by-sides, horses, dogs, there's always something that people can pick up during each of the sessions. And so people really, really enjoy coming back and learning different pieces of that. You know, and just watching Kurt and Ron work, that's just fun to do.
Thanks, Dean. We'll look forward to seeing you in Orlando.
Thanks, Kevin, for having me on. We'll see you in Orlando.
Now, the information and education available at CattleCon is second to none, and you'll go home with new insights that just might change your business for the better. We asked some of NCBA's producer leaders to share their thoughts on the educational opportunities available at convention.
One of the great things about the winter convention that we have are the learning opportunities, the educational opportunities. We have different sessions with the Cattlemen's College, we have the Learning Lounge, we have all this interaction with different speakers. It's a great place to be, a great place to tune up your abilities and your knowledge.
There's lots of opportunities in the trade show for education on all different kinds of things, from cattle handling to different health products and so forth. Through the committee meetings, there's lots to be learned there too, and you can go and sit and listen even if you're not a member of that committee, and you can hear all the things that are being discussed and talked about. You can go to the checkoff meetings and find out what's happening with beef promotion and education, and so there's a lot that can be learned for everyone.
You know, the convention, one of the best things about it is the educational opportunities that everybody has the opportunity to take part in. You can learn things all the way from sustainability issues and how does your operation become more sustainable, or even to measure the sustainability efforts that you're already taking part in your ranch or your operation. You know, we can look at animal health, you can look at marketing, you can look at all of the different aspects that really we face each and every day, and find something here at convention that's going to be important to you and that you can take back home and maybe change a little bit something in your operation to make it better for you and the future generations to come.
Still ahead, we'll take you inside one of Orlando's premier entertainment destinations. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
That certain time in the day when you can take a deep breath, knowing your work is done. That's the feeling Aspen products can create. Cost-effective alternatives to name brands that deliver the same results. Qualaxin is one of them. Use it to prevent and treat respiratory disease in your herd. Then breathe easy. Find them at Animal Health International.
This beef quality assurance tip is funded by the Beef Checkoff.
I'm Dan Buskirk,
beef extension specialist with Michigan State University with a beef quality assurance tip. Radio frequency identification, or RFID, is an increasingly popular method of individual animal identification. You should always apply tags according to the manufacturer's instructions to increase readability and retention. First, make sure you have the correct applicator for the tags you are using. Next, make sure that the animal is secured so that the tag can be applied properly on the left ear. Make sure that the female part of the tag is on the inside of the ear and the male stud is on the back of the ear. We want to place the tag 1/4 to 1/3 of the distance from the head to make sure that we have good retention. If we put the tag too close to the head, we may have the tag discs too tight to one another so that the animal's ear does not heal properly. And if it's too far from the head, it may increase the chance for that tag to tear the ear and reduce retention. For more information on animal identification and record keeping, check with your state extension beef cattle team or visit bqa.org.
The Beef Quality Assurance Program is funded by the Beef Checkoff.
We've already told you about some great things to see and do during CattleCon, but what if you're in the mood for a little bit of excitement? Cattlemen to Cattlemen reporter Russell Nemitz has a look at one of the places you can go for amusement park rides and amazing restaurants.
Well, you'll find Icon Park in the heart of Orlando's entertainment district. This open-air attraction is the perfect place for convention attendees to ride, dine, and explore.
I think Icon Park is one of the places in Orlando that surprises and delights people because we always hear from guests or visitors or conference attendees that it's so much more than they expected. We have a nice collection, a well-balanced collection of some really cool bars, really great cuisine, great restaurants, and then we've got some attractions mixed in. So it's a little bit of everything for everyone, and we fit it all on about 25 acres, which is pretty impressive.
This isn't your typical tourist spot. Icon Park offers more than 50 amazing restaurants, shops, and can't-miss attractions, and many are suitable for all ages.
I mean, it really is a family destination. I mean, you just walk around, you see kids from, in strollers to teens and tweens. Because we've got the carousel, we've got the train, we've got the aquarium, particularly the Sea Life Aquarium, really appeals to the smaller kids. But then the teens love all the simulation and the arcades and the games that we have for them as well.
Now be sure to take a spin on the wheel if you want an unforgettable view of Orlando. This iconic attraction gives riders a breathtaking 360-degree look at the surrounding area.
Yeah, the wheel's 400 feet tall. It's always a great place to start your vacation because I feel like a family can go up and they can see all of the other places that they might want to visit. You can see the convention center, you can see Universal, you can see Disney, SeaWorld. So that's a lot of fun. So the capsules on the wheel, they'll hold up to 12 people, and we typically give families a private capsule anyway. So even if you're only 3 or 4 people, you'll probably be experiencing the wheel in a private capsule. And then it takes about 20 minutes, the entire rotation of the wheel.
The folks at Icon Park hope that beef producers will make time to visit while they're in town for CattleCon.
We'd love to have the cattle producers from all over America. I'm a steak lover, so I think you're really important to my diet, as you can tell. So we welcome you, and we can't wait to have you here in Orlando. Come see us at Icon Park.
Icon Park isn't that far from the convention center and is a nice option for those looking to take a short break from the traditional convention activities.
There's no turnstile, it's a lot of people just come here to enjoy the atmosphere, maybe have a couple drinks on the lawn. Other people come here in the morning and they spend their whole day here. It's very flexible in that respect. We do have a value ticket for families called the Play Pass. It represents about a 54% savings off of buying all of those attractions separately, and you're not restricted on using it all in one day. So if you're staying here for the week in Orlando and you buy that ticket, I mean, you can have multiple visits over the entire week, so it allows you to spread out some of the fun.
Reporting from Orlando, I'm Russell Nemitz for NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen.
Still ahead, we'll introduce you to a ranching family that's proud to call Florida home. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Are you ready for proven genetics that pay? Then look to Gelbvieh and Balancer.
The Gelbvieh and Balancer cattle, what they've done for our operation is by selecting the right bulls, we've been able to go all the way through the end product and really produce a product that brings the premium dollars.
Gelbvieh and Balancer genetics deliver more pounds of calf weaned and heavier carcass weights.
Pounds pay everybody. And then it's important for the cattle to reach a high quality grade with a high percent grading choice and prime.
When we first started going with Gelbvieh and Balancer bulls, that is when we started noticing these premiums increase. The premiums that we pick up, that's just extra money in our pocket.
Make the smart, reliable, and profitable choice with Gelbvieh and Balancer. Find out more at gelbvieh.org.
The National Cattlemen's Beef Association would like to thank our gold partners. Their support allows us to continue being the trusted leader and definitive voice of the U.S. cattle and beef industry.
Welcome back as we get you ready for CattleCon 24 in Orlando. Now, we're excited to highlight some of the great work being done by Florida's beef producers. Here's a look at an operation where environmental stewardship is always top of mind.
Cattle and citrus are the two driving factors at Williamson Cattle Company near Okeechobee, Florida. The business was started in the 1940s, and today multiple generations of the Williamson family live and work on this land.
I am blessed. I'm fourth generation, and the fifth generation is here with me today and living on the property also.
Ranchers who run cattle close to Lake Okeechobee, like the Williamson family, get a lot of extra attention. The goal with both their cattle operation and the citrus groves is to develop practices that ensure nutrients stay on the land and don't impact the local waterways. They have some land in a wetlands reserve project that not only provides additional grazing land, but also holds water in place to prevent nutrient runoff.
Our water is tested coming onto the property, also leaving the property. In essence, it really needs to leave here cleaner than what it came on. And furthermore, we don't want nutrients leaving, just from an economic standpoint as well. We hold water back to help those nutrients be absorbed into the soil and thus grown as grass. Nutrients are very expensive in the form of fertilizers. We don't want them escaping.
In 2004, Williamson Cattle Company became the first ranch east of the Mississippi River to be named a national winner of the Environmental Stewardship Award. For the Williamsons, the goal has always been to run a business that's both economically and environmentally sustainable.
Stewardship is everything, taking care of this property, preserving it, and making sure for the future generations it's like this. Not only the family, but also our residents and people around us. Stewardship is something that is always in the front of our minds.
One challenge the Williamson family faces is urban encroachment. The growing demand for vacation homes and new communities is slowly squeezing out the cattle industry in Florida, and the Williamson family is right on the front line.
It's very sad. In my lifetime, I've seen numerous properties, taken out of ranching and put into houses, developments. It's very important for us to try to maintain this land, like it was. So we're constantly looking at ways to keep the property like it is through easements and other conservation efforts. There's 1,000 people a day moving to Florida, over 22 million total residents. So it's extremely important that we do things right and stay favorable in the consumer's eyes.
Those consumers play an important role. By choosing beef, they're supporting ranchers like the Williamsons who are working every day to protect Florida's green space and its critical watersheds.
The consumer ultimately is the boss. They make that decision whenever they go into the meat case. And when they pick beef, they're picking a product that the majority of it is raised on grass. We have so many conservation efforts going in with the wildlife corridor and different things. Well, most of that is cattle ranching. And so whenever you pick beef up out of the case and make that decision to buy, you're supporting our conservation efforts as well.
With CattleCon 24 coming to Orlando, John knows this is a great opportunity to showcase the many cattle producers who call the Sunshine State their home.
Most people, when they think of Florida, they don't think of cattle ranching. They think of, the beaches and all the different theme parks and attractions. But this would be a great opportunity to get people in and to, tell our story. We have so many more people, in this state than we do cattle, which was just different in the cattle industry, where a lot of the states are actually the opposite way or closer in ratios. I think it'd be a great opportunity to showcase how we can cattle ranch in an area with tremendous population growth.
Whether it's cattle or citrus, the goal at Williamson Cattle Company is to develop practices that help them sustain their business while protecting the natural resources in their care.
The way we've looked at it is, we don't own this land, we're just stewards of it. And we make every effort to preserve the environment and the endangered species and wildlife.
Reporting from Florida, I'm Brian Baxter for NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen.
There are many excellent reasons to attend CattleCon, and there's still plenty of time for you to make plans to join us. Convention runs January 31st through February 2nd. You can register and get your housing all set at the website convention.ncba.org. There you'll also find special discounts on things like airfare and rental cars to help you get to, from, and around Orlando. Well, that wraps up this special edition of NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen. Thanks so much for spending time with us. I hope you'll join me in Orlando. It'll be a trip you'll never forget. And I hope to see you again next week right here on RFD TV. Thanks for watching.